what quantity of carbohydrate would such a person need in a day?
Yeah. Well, if maybe some listeners remember, and you remember, the first show we talked about the sugars.
Yeah.
We talked about the sugars and the carbohydrates.
Right.
What kind of type of carbohydrates there are? There are the fast carbohydrates, that's the sugars, and you have more the slow carbohydrates. That's the most starchy ones. And the most valuable and the energy for the body is like the starchy ones. That means like to have the rice, the plantain, the cassava, bread, the oats that we mentioned before. That's more the starch and the grains.
Yeah.
But maybe it's the big question how much to eat of them.
Yeah.
Also what to eat, and we also discussed earlier when to eat, so before we're hungry.
Yeah.
But now we came to the point that we have to know how much to eat.
Yeah.
Because as you said, how active you are more energy needed.
Yeah.
And it's really important to understand that everybody has a different energy level.
Yeah.
It depends on your current weight, it depends on metabolism, it depends on your activity level, it depends on your age. And so altogether, everybody got this individual. But maybe it's important to see the basics one.
But can I come to you if I want to know my energy level?
Yeah, of course. When I want to know the energy level, we first start to know. I need to know a lot of information. First, I need to know how long you are, your weight, how much activity you are during the day. Medical history is really, really important. If we count that in, because that gives a different advice of food and values. But let's bring it to an average that we can talk about.
Yes.
Just to make the people understand how much is really needed.
Yeah.
So we can measure that. Like let's see if we have, like, for example, we start the breakfast this morning, and we have the lunch and we have the evening. So there are 3 meals, 3 head course. And then there's a choice to eat just one really small in-betweens. So then basically, 2 or 3. Basically we have 5 or 6 moments a day that we eat. But if we take what we need during those days, during the day, it's like, you remember that we said last week 5 pieces of bread? Do you remember that?
Yeah.
That's something I want to bring just for that. Morning and the lunch, and that's all. I say again, it's average, and you can also count that 5 slices. Some people say it's a lot, some people say it's not so much, but it's just a measurement.
Yeah, I believe that some people are listening to this program, and maybe until this point they do not really know what Honey is talking about. In the past we talked about how much bread you should take in the morning and how much bread you should take maybe in the afternoon. And Honey was trying to say that you don't need to take so much bread in the morning. And she mentioned 2 slices. I was shocked and I said, because me, I eat one time maybe 5, 4, 6, at a go. And depending on the nature of my work. So when he said 2 slices is enough, I said, this is an impossibility. But Honey, you try to explain why you think 2 is good for the morning.
Exactly. It's 2 or 3 because it's a measurement of 5, but for some people it's already 6 or maybe 7. But that's why I say an average.
Yeah.
And it's, if you eat just enough bread in the morning, it's like 1 bread you can also count 2 crackers, or 1 portion of oats, or 1 portion of cereal, the healthy ones though. So you can combine it. It's not necessary that you have to eat only bread in the morning. There are variations, and you can eat every day something else. And then the 2 or 3 breads give you enough energy just for 3 hours. 3 hours later, we eat something small, like a fruit or some yogurt. That's enough portions for in between to don't get your energy so low, but to maintain it till the next meal, and that's the lunch, because that's the half of the day that you need the next portion of energy to get through the day. And then you can have another 2 or 3 slices for the next 3 hours. So what you need is just basically energy for like 3 hours to go ahead.
I want to talk here like an African. Honey, I buy a whole loaf of bread, €1 something, and I take 2 slices.
Yeah.
And then within an hour or so, when it's bedtime, I need to take yogurt or something. But the yogurt itself is around 80 cents and €1 something. I would prefer eating another bread than taking the yogurt. In that case, what have you to say about that?
That's a really, really interesting thing to say.
Yeah.
Because also financially it's good to know how, like, for average, when you don't have a lot to spend, you need to see your expenses. But that's, if you buy basic products, you don't need to buy special things. Basic products in the supermarket, you can maintain a really good, healthy things, good healthy life.
Yeah.
And also contains like the milky stuff, the milk or the yogurt. It's also another part of nutrition that we need in the body, proteins.
Yeah.
So you can combine it. It's not only the bread, it's not only the proteins, but you can usually, by the way, in the basics, the yogurt that is not flavored, not extra sugar flavors, that's usually a little bit more expensive. If you take the half full of the light yogurt, not light but half full of magere, then it's much more like 80 cents. It's not that expensive. We can all add it to the total of the day.
I think I have someone on the line, and let's listen to the gentleman. Hello and good morning. We are on air, Radio Godia. Hello.
Good morning, Mr. Brown.
Good morning, Captain. How are you?
I say good morning to Honey and
good morning to you too.
Yeah.
Honey,
it's not the honey, it's a honey.
In the morning, like breakfast. Is there any food supplement that you recommend? Can you comment for me?
Please, Captain, can you come again?
I mean, if I can't eat in the morning, like breakfast, until in the afternoon that I'll feel to eat before I can take in something.
Oh, okay.
Is it good I take in food supplement? If it is good, then which one is best for me?
Okay. Thank you very much, Captain. Annie, I hope you understood it very well. But let me make this correction before it's too late. Captain, are you there? Oh, Captain is gone. But, Captain, the name is Honey, not Honey.
It's sweet though, but...
Yeah. Honey is sweet, but it's honey, not honey. Okay, we go.
Well, it's a really interesting question. I hope you will call back because I wanted to ask you actually why you cannot eat, because that's also a reason why can you eat. There are different reasons.
Yeah.
Much people say, I'm not really hungry, I don't have enough time, I don't have enough, I don't feel like it to eat in the morning.
But that is, so for some of us, at this time I don't want to say the Africans, because I know some people who are not Africans, they also have the same experience, that they only eat when they are hungry. If they don't feel like eating, they don't eat.
Yeah. It's a circle, and we have to break the circle and start earlier. Because usually when you cannot eat in the morning, that means the body is full. The body is still full of energy. And when is the energy fulfilled in the body? It was the evening before.
Okay.
So I would like to ask the captain or to you people here in the studio, like how do you eat in the evening? How much do you eat and what do you eat in the evening? Because when you eat in the evening more than needed, then the body captures the energy, and it still has a lot of energy for the morning. And then you're not hungry in the morning, you eat later, and when you eat later you're still hungry, and the hunger leads you. So what happens? In the evening you eat, so all your metabolism goes further on the day. So I would recommend try, as you did with the chewing,
Yeah.
and maybe for Captain and maybe the other listeners, maybe to try when you experience not breakfast, not eating well, to even after dinner at 6 o'clock. And dinner is also an important thing that I want to mention before we go up there. After dinner at 6, 7 o'clock, then chew well, as we discussed, and let the rest of the evening, let your food be processed and the energy, and don't eat after that. You can eat something small, like a little bit of a cracker, or just a piece of fruit, or just some vegetables, or some yogurt, and then let the energy be processed for the next morning.
Yes.
And then you feel hungry. It takes a couple of days though. It takes a couple of days to start to feel the hunger. Usually 3 days. In 3 days you have to go to it if you after dinner don't eat. And then bit by bit you start to get yourself a new habit, a new consciousness. If you eat just in small, starting with liquid. If you cannot eat in the morning, start with just a small piece of liquid, and then build it up bit by bit.
Okay, so Captain, if you are still listening, this is what Annie is saying, that you may not feel like eating in the morning. But now that you have learned something from us, it is better for you to try at least something fluid, some liquid.
Yeah.
It can be tea,
Yeah. Tea
or
is usually
porridge.
Yeah. Porridge is really good.
Yeah.
You can build it up, what I said, with
Yeah.
liquids. It's easy because you don't have to chew it, as we
Yeah.
talked about.
Mhm.
You just
Just
have
have
to
to
swallow
drink,
it.
yeah.
Yeah.
Mm.
So that's how we learn to get some energy in our body, and bit by bit, we're getting our body get used to get something inside. And the captain was asking, do I need some extra supplements?
The supplements, yeah.
Well, to get some supplements is only the symptom, but actually we want to go to the core.
Mm.
That's why I explained. I don't think the supplements are needed, but it's needed to see how we can start to eat breakfast.
Okay.
That's the process I was explaining.
Yeah. Captain, I hope you are answered. If you have some more questions, we are ready here. But I see Ibrahim is so poised to come up with something. And after I finish with Ibrahim, we have lesser time to go. But there's one more topic that we have not treated. So let's go quickly to Ibrahim. After that, we come to the fruits.
Yes, she talked about dinner.
Yeah.
We the Africans, I hear you saying Africans, it's true.
Mm.
Africans. Do we eat dinner? Because we eat late. Is it also dinner? And this is what I was listening, because the question Stephen has, maybe if you eat late, you can see you eat late and sleep, so the food cannot digest.
Mm-hmm.
So automatically you cannot eat in the morning, you cannot eat your breakfast.
Mm.
So now my question is, you said 6 o'clock, that's dinner. And we the Africans also, we don't eat the dinner, so we eat late. So what's the difference between the dinner and eating late? Is it also dinner?
Yeah, that's a good question, and it also depends on what you eat, Ibrahim. What is the late for you?
Well, you talk about 6. For me, maybe I eat about 9:30, 10 o'clock.
Yeah.
So, and 10 o'clock, if I want to eat yam, example, I eat yam. I don't care. It's at 10 o'clock or this thing. If I want to eat a guachi or tuwo, I eat the same. So that's what I want to see the difference. That's why.
That's a really, really good question, because I think that's
Mubarak, it's true.
Yeah, this is the reality.
Yeah.
That is what happens.
That's what I said. That's what I said today. One of the most grand finale topics that we need to discuss, because we discussed a lot. But what we need to discuss is dinner.
Yeah,
The
eating
warm
habits.
food.
Exactly.
And firstly, I have to mention the first time I ate Ghanese food, it was so yummy. I really, really enjoyed it. But the only thing I felt is I wanted to go sleep.
I see. This is what that's why we sleep a lot.
Because it's quite heavy. It's really
Yeah.
heavy.
Yeah.
And what I wanted to talk, firstly, let me ask you, before before the 9:30 that you eat, what time before do you eat, Ibrahim? What time do you eat before 9 you eat? But if you go early in the day, what time do you eat?
Well, mostly what I eat bread in the morning.
Yeah.
Before I come out, I eat bread.
Yeah. What time is that?
Maybe let's take it about 8:30 to 9 o'clock in the morning.
Yeah.
So in the afternoon times, sometimes if I don't forget to take bread, and I eat also bread, so I eat bread a lot.
Yeah.
So from there I don't eat. If I have a fruit, it's okay.
Yeah.
I just train myself on it. So in the night, and that comes the problem. So in the night, anything at all, I think, because I don't have a problem with it. Either yam, of plantain, or wache, or rice. Everything I think I can fill myself with, I eat it.
Do you feel hungry at that time?
Well, yeah, I can say, but not too much.
Because I see somebody nodding on the other side, do you feel hungry on that time?
Yeah, of course, because looking at Aladi's story, it means he eats once. Because early in the morning he eats bread, then later on, bread is not termed as food for us. You understand?
And that's also the adjusting with your own culture to the different country you live in. Because if you go to Ghana, do you eat bread at all?
Of course, we eat bread.
Yeah, but what kind of which kind of bread? The bread like here in Holland or different bread?
No, the same bread, but mostly white bread or tea bread.
Exactly. And how many times you eat that when you go to Ghana?
It depends on the person. Once.
Yeah.
Some people eat it 2 times. I don't know.
And the hot food. How many times a day do you usually eat it?
People eat it 3 times. 2 times.
And that's what it is. It's heavy. It takes you for a few hours. You want to go sleep like I wanted to do, and then you cannot eat and then you have to take a lot of time. But for example, you said to me like I eat it at lunch. When you go out, you cannot bring the food with you. But if you're at home, the Ghanese people that I talked to, they say I'm eating by lunch, like 1 or 2 o'clock. I'm eating my hot food, my fufu, my rice, my stew, and then in the evening, because it has a lot of energy for the whole day, so it takes usually when you eat some bread or something, it's for 3 or 4 hours. But the Ghanese food is so heavy, and you can take the energy for more hours, so you can take it to 6, 7, 8 hours. So what the body needs is one moment. The metabolism has to work really, really hard to digest all the food for 8 hours, and then at 9 o'clock in the evening, around that, the body is empty of energy, and then the body getting the hunger feeling again, and then you want to get more energy. So that's how if you eat a heavy meal in the morning, in the lunch, and after that you eat again in the evening, then it feels like you feel that you're hungry again in the evening. But if you moderate it, to eat a little bit less, and in the evening you eat also on around 7, 6, 7, even 8. That is also good because then it takes time for the energy to sleep.
Yes, you can say something.
For me, I don't skip breakfast. But immediately, I make sure I don't skip breakfast. Like my tea and my bread, I don't skip it. But hence, afterwards, I get hungry almost after every 2-3 hours.
That's
So
exactly,
that's
not the problem. That means that your body works really well. Because what you eat as breakfast, what did you eat this morning as breakfast?
Yeah, I took tea and then the bread.
Exactly.
With
And you were
with some margarine?
No, with groundnut paste.
Oh, okay.
What?
With groundnut
Ground
paste.
paste.
Pindakaas, yeah.
Pindakaas.
Perfect. And then it was how many hours ago now?
I think 2-3 hours now.
3 hours.
Now I'm feeling something.
It starts to come up.
Yeah.
And that's exactly what I mean. After 3 or 4 every meal, gets energy for 3 or 4 hours, so it's more than normal that you feel hunger. That's the process of the body, so that's why we need to feel the body.
So my problem is because
it's not a problem. It's not a problem. It's
okay.
like the
I was
way.
thinking that normally you have to go through the 3 breakfast, lunch, supper. But right now it's not even up to. There is I'm feeling. So if I eat now, 3 hours now, I'll eat again.
Yeah,
so I'm eating 2 lunches.
Yeah, but because you wake up really, really early, that's why you need to adjust it.
Oh, okay.
Hello?
Yeah. Mubarak taught me how to say sorry. So I'm sorry, honey, for misquoting your name. My president told me how to say honey, for honey.
Your apology is totally accepted, but actually I started to adopt the new name as Honey. I think I go further as Honey.
Okay. So with your expression, that food supplement doesn't come in here.
Yeah.
What time you want to prescribe for a food supplement?
Oh, okay.
Can
He's asking if you know what to eat because you know what the food contains and you eat all. In that case, you don't need supplement. But when does supplement? When is it good to prescribe supplement for somebody?
I will recommend firstly to, and it's
Let me add one before I go on.
Okay, do, Captain.
Sometimes my food is not balanced. So I'll be eating carbohydrate throughout. So don't you think it would be better I supplement it with a vitamin and mineral compound together?
Okay.
In the form of liquid or tablet. Don't you think, when is it appropriate that you prescribe that thing to me or to anybody? Thank you.
Yeah. Well, what I wanted to thank you for your question. I will answer that because about the supplement is in usually vitamin pills. But if the vitamin pills contain the same vitamins that you have in your nutrition. So and we were talking also about finance. So we were talking like, why would we buy the vitamin pills if we can get it from the nutrition that we have? Yeah. It doesn't need to be like expensive. We can have healthy food for a reasonable, good price that we can eat ourselves and enjoy ourselves with the food. And yeah, if you're talking about the balanced diet, it's like, and you're conscious of it. That's the first step, to be conscious about what you eat, and then to adjust it. And then there are different reasons how to adjust it. And there's different, if you need some help, I will recommend go to somebody who is expert in it, or a dietitian. She can always help. But in general, I would say it's better to, if you know that you eat a lot of carbs, adjust it. Put one amount, 1/3 of what you eat now, put that less, and instead of that, put some extra vegetables to your meal. That will be the first big step.
Yeah, thank you very much, Annie. It is now, some 2 seconds to 9 o'clock, so we will go for the news and then we come back. In the meantime, Alhaji Ali and Alhaji Yusuf, both of them have joined us in the studio. Let's go for the news. Yes, welcome back to the studios of Godia, and my name is Nibarpa. I'm here with you, and I'm with Hani, Alhaji Yusuf, Alhaji Ibrahim, Mubarak, and Ali. We say one more time, good morning, and the program continues. What is the program? We are talking about food and our attitude towards food and eating it, how we have to change to a better style of eating. Now, we've talked so much, and we need to round up. So, Honey, you were saying something about supplements or so before we left for the news. I'll give it back to you.
Yeah. Maybe you would like to repeat your question again, but because I think it got interrupted.
Yeah. What I said was, I don't skip breakfast, but immediately after breakfast, every 3 hours I feel the hunger. And then, for instance, this morning I came out, I took my first breakfast, because I always take first breakfast, second breakfast, because in the morning, it's still in the morning, around 6:30, I took bread and then with pinakas.
Yes.
Now, right now I'm feeling something, so I feel like eating. And if I should eat around 10, it's 9 now. If I should eat now, should I be in the house, I would have had to eat something now.
Yeah.
Now, around 12, I'll eat something, then 4, I'll eat something. So it's like the 3 square meals, I'm not really getting it.
Yeah, so it depends also on times, but you really, it's what you're feeling is normal.
Okay.
That's what I said, after 3 or 4 hours,
Okay.
that's when you feel like hungry.
Okay.
And that's what I said, like average is 5. This is a really good example.
Oh.
When you have like, if you know, like you have like a really long day and you started already 5, you're getting 5, 6 o'clock, you're getting up, then the 2 slices are not enough. Then you were looking like, till what time we need to get through the morning, and then I will recommend take 3 sandwiches, three of them, and then it depends also what you're going to do after that. If you're going after this program, going back home to have a little few hours of sleep, it's different. Or you're going to have a really big workout.
Yeah.
So that's what I mean, adjusting to every day's plan, and every day can be different. But it's really normal. And actually, I would recommend you to after we finish today, like in a couple of minutes or half hour, you go and eat something, and have like a little in between. It doesn't mean that you have to be a big breakfast, but you can have some fruit, or you have like a little cracker. And because you had only 2 slices this morning,
Yes.
I would even say take 1 extra slice.
Okay.
And if you're hungry now, I've got my food with me. You can have an extra slice for me.
Thanks for your generosity.
And then, my question is,
Yes.
we the African, like a special, like I will take Nipatapa, make example, or this man, he doesn't eat food at all. What time we the Africans, sometimes if we take our meal, you advise us to be taking fruit.
The fruits are really good for example, like Mubarak said, like the vitamins are really good for the vitamins to take it in between. You can have between the meals, it's a really in between good one, the fruit. And during the meals, you can have vegetables. And even if you have in the traditional food, you have less vegetables, what you can do, you can make easy like a salad. Or just to slice some cucumbers or slice. You have to make it easy for yourself. Don't make it too difficult. Because when you make it too difficult, you don't gotta put up for the long term. Just before the dinner, start a slice of cucumber, make a little salad. Just have
How
some
do you make
extra.
salad? If you say salad,
Just
because what they make salad, sometimes they make salad, cucumber, tomato, and put mayonnaise.
Yeah.
Is it okay?
That's the sauce. That's really good of you. That's the sauce. That depends. Like that's why I mean make it simple. You can always add a little bit of vinegar or a little bit of lemon or some spices. Not salt, but the other spices to make it taste nice. Even some yogurt. It's like when somebody likes.
So that means instead of mayonnaise, it will be
yogurt is the same
because
stuff.
mayonnaise is more fat.
Exactly. Mayonnaise has a lot of fat, and not only fat, the less good fats. And if you want like to be a little bit moist, and a little bit of nice sauce, you can make sauce of for example, the yogurt. You put some herbs in the yogurt in advance. You mix it, and then it's like it has kind of the same taste for the vegetables.
Okay, before Nipatapa will take it over, some of our people sometimes they give they like vitamin D and so forth to the children so that they can eat more. Is it normal, or is it okay for a child to be giving him or her vitamin D or C so that she or he can eat?
Do you mean the vitamin to encourage them to eat?
Yeah.
Okay. The vitamins are they're 2 separate things. It doesn't mean the vitamins are just an extra supplement, because every vitamin has its own function. Like for example, what we talked earlier about the vitamin D or the vitamin C, or everyone got its own function in the body, and it doesn't necessarily gives the courage to eat. It's more it's like the vitamins, when you have not enough of your food, you can get some vitamins, but that's the last solution. It's better to get it from your food. But if you want your children to encourage them by words, encourage them to say you can be strong, you're going to be healthy. Exactly. Even though they don't understand the word health, when they will be older, they will know that word, and you can explain it in especially for the little children, you explain it by simple words. To be strong, to be smart, to be big. Yeah, exactly. That's how you can explain them that it's important to eat their foods.
But why children they don't like to be eating vegetables? Why?
It's really typical, but actually, it's a good question.
Because some of the vegetables they don't taste good.
Yeah.
Aside from maybe carrots and
Exactly.
tomatoes.
I will tell you.
Yeah.
Yeah. Now, as you're asking, I can tell you that. Well, when by nature children have different flavorings, but we have the sweet, sour, salt, and bitter. But by nature, when children are around the age of 2 years old, they have the natural development of their taste. Thank you. And by nature, we always want sugar. Sugar is the first taste. When we discussed about the chewing, we talked about the taste in the tongue. You have the first developed one is the sugary, and that's why by nature we want more sugary. And usually the vegetables are a little bit more sour or bitter, and that's why the children love it less. It's like when you put a lemon in your mouth and you feel that
sour.
Exactly. We're as adults also that have to get used to that taste. That's the less favorable. It doesn't mean it doesn't taste good, but it's the less favorable, and that's why children prefer the fruits more than the vegetables, because they're more sweeter.
Okay, we move to the next stage, or maybe still on the same issue. Some few minutes ago, Alhaji Ibrahim asked you about fruits, but I want to go one step forward to where one step forward means, as Africans, this is the way I learn to eat fruits. If I sit down one time, I can eat 4 or 5 fingers of banana with groundnut. Yeah?
With
groundnut.
Groundnuts,
Yeah. And sometimes if I don't have money for groundnut, I eat the banana alone. If it is 5 or 6 or even 7 and I'm hungry, I eat all the banana at one go. And I think I'm eating fruit. Now, another time, if it is mango, sometimes we go ourselves to the tree and we pluck the mangoes. And then when we come home, special time, only mangoes, and I eat till I'm okay. Here, it is not like that. But you have made us understand, this is for the benefit of those who are listening, that fruits are good for us, but we also have to eat fruits in a certain way. Our attitude, first, the knowledge, why we shouldn't eat one fruit so much, and why we need to vary also.
Yeah, that's a few topics.
Yeah.
The first one is why we need to vary is because every fruit has a different vitamin. And by varying, you get different vitamins.
So I eat banana today, tomorrow I eat mango, and the next day I eat besan, and the next day I eat maybe grapes, and the next day I eat pineapple, and so it's
that's
good.
how to vary it, yeah. And if we talk about the financial, the tropical fruits are usually more expensive.
Yeah.
But you can also vary it with the less expensive ones, because the less tropical, like the apple, banana, pear, mandarin,
kiwi, and
you see, we named already 6 now.
Yeah.
That is less expensive. And if you go to the market on Saturday in the afternoon, usually on the end of the week, it's a little bit less expensive.
And if, for example, I have about 7 types of fruits in my basket, is it good to take maybe 1 apple and 1 banana in the morning? Yeah,
it's like, and then it's how much? 2 times a day. Two times a fruit moment a day.
2 types of fruits a day?
Yeah.
Okay.
But if you, for example, have the grapes, it's not 2 pieces, but just a handful. Okay. A handful is around 15. So
a handful of grapes and a handful of, if I have maybe besan.
Yeah.
What is the name of besan in English?
Berries.
Yeah. So I take a handful of grapes and I take a handful of berries. Yeah. If they are the fruits I have at a particular time. And if it is banana, maybe 2 fingers.
No, banana is 1 banana.
One. Yeah. It doesn't matter what the size.
No, it's okay. 1 banana. Sometimes it's bigger, sometimes it's smaller. But we're not gonna measure a banana or an apple.
So,
but if you talk But if you talked about how many grams, usually a portion is 125 approximately.
Okay.
But we're not going to measure it. Not
okay.
needed.
Okay. Yeah, so listeners, we are about to round up, and I'm expecting one last call. If that comes, okay, that will be fine. But if it doesn't come, I'm going to pause with some music. And don't forget, the telephone number is 020-737-1619. I'm taking a pause, so do call if you want to. Don't wait and see us for an answer. So please call. What went wrong? They also want to know what is happening here. So let's let them know what really is happening.
Bananas, but there was the fruit banana, and then we switched to banana plantain.
Oh, okay, yeah.
That's what we talked about. So it was asking what we were talking actually about the hot meal, about how much we can eat the banana. It depends, 1 or 2. That does depend on the size. Because for the evening meal, it can depend on how big it is. But usually I say 1, but for maybe if there's not enough 2, it's okay. But not more than 2 plantains.
And it doesn't matter what is you are eating with, because in the evening normally we eat banana in the morning, but plantain.
Plantain, that's what we're talking about.
Yeah, in the evening, and plantain we eat with sauce.
Yeah.
So it doesn't matter how much, what the quantity of sauce.
Yeah, but
vegetables.
yeah. What we were talking about was now just the plantain.
Okay.
So I think the big finale that we need to discuss today is that how much we need to eat of the hot dish. We discussed that it's better to eat only one time.
Yeah.
Because still you can have your cultural, but here the energy is less here.
Yeah.
So we eat twice. We eat the breakfast and the lunch bread or something starchy.
Yeah.
And then in the evening you can eat, or you can eat you can also switch that in the afternoon you can eat the hot dish.
Yeah.
But if we're talking about how much we need to eat, that's a really important one. Why? Because usually when you start chewing, did you notice that you ate less? That you were more sad?
Yeah. When you start chewing and
Exactly.
you count, especially when you are counting and you are enjoying the taste of it. Yeah.
Yeah, exactly. So you don't need a lot, because usually also it's cultural wise with us to put a lot on the plate.
And it means that
So
you have to eat also. If you don't want to eat fast, then you have to eat when you are relaxed.
Yeah, that's the environment. It's not what you eat, but in the environment around you. It's really
So if you have to go to work maybe 1 o'clock, you don't have to eat around 12:30.
Yeah, then you eat. Yeah, it depends, because if you take your hot dish to work or you eat at home at work, it doesn't matter as long as you have relaxed. You can eat also hot meal on your work, and in the evening eat some bread. That doesn't matter, but as long as one time a day and proportional size. Well, let me tell you how much. And don't get shocked, please, because sometimes when I hear it, people say, really that small or really that big? But it's like in average. 3, if we take the rice, for example. The rice cooked is like approximately 150 grams cooked rice. That means that is 3 big spoons, not the big ones, but the middle one.
You mean the uncooked, the one that is not cooked?
Not the cooked one.
And you take 150 grams.
150 grams.
Okay.
Okay, people tell me that's so that's why I say don't start to think about it, because I hear people laugh, and that's maybe it sounds like maybe such a small amount.
Yeah.
But that's what we need, because
For one person.
For one person, 150 gram average. We don't talk about children. We don't talk about athletes, but we talk about average is 150 grams. And this week I showed also some people when we had a workshop about how much is 150 grams. When you take, it's nice to also when people at home, the listeners, to try it. How much is 150? It looks less, but when you actually eat and chew it well, that's more than enough. And I know we discussed also how much is it on the plate. It's like approximately 1/3 of the plate. And then somebody told me, but I don't put it on one side of the plate, I put it on my whole plate. So that's also possible. It's not one side, but you can put it on the plate, but a thinner layer.
Mentally, I think if I have to take this the whole day, I'll feel dizzy.
But that's why, and That's why I said to you, before I start to tell you, it's really important to understand how much it is.
Yeah.
And it's really like, it's like pure the habit. If you continue, start counting your chewings and eat slowly, you will be satisfied and full after that 150 grams. And I dare you to try it. And
for sure I'm going to try it, because if I come here to talk to people to do it, why me myself I'm not
and
going
also
to do
people
it?
at home. And also, the first time, it has to take some time. But the first time you will say, nah, that's not enough. The second time maybe not either. But after 3, 4, 5, 6 times, your body get adjusted to it, because the body needs to adjust to certain things. When you're 30 years old, 40 years old, you have your habits already from 40 years. You cannot change that in one day or one time. It needs time to change itself. It needs time to make it your own and be a habit.
You see, you got to a point where I think only the doctor can give me this answer, because I'm thinking of somebody who is old enough and he has been eating so much for a long time that the stomach is very open and is always ready to take more food. Yeah. But suddenly you have to put 150 grams?
150
right
grams.
In the morning.
It's not it's not in the morning.
You can imagine the space that will be left in the stomach. Yeah? So how long would that take? Is the stomach going to shrink?
3 weeks usually.
3 weeks?
3 weeks it takes to get used to that habit. 3 weeks.
Okay.
And then it doesn't mean that it's adapted completely, but 3 weeks it needed to get a new habit.
For a starter.
3 days, it's like phases.
Yeah.
The first 3 days are the hardest, then the first week is the hardest.
It's good to know this.
3 weeks and then 2 months. That's the most, when you have phases, that's the most point of difficulty. But when you overcome them and you still continue, you will see that it will be much easier.
So, listeners, if you are one of the examples I just gave, you've been eating so much in the past, your belly is so widely open, it can take 1,000 grams, and now you have to give 150.
You know what?
Yeah.
Even though it's really difficult, and it's not 150, it's still too much, try to make your portion the half of what it is now.
Okay.
Maybe, or a third less.
Yeah.
Maybe it's less shocking, maybe it's just, but you eat one portion less. But put the portion that you have now, put 1/3 or half what you can handle, less, and see how that reacts.
Okay, listeners, I want to thank you very much for being on the program, and now we are going to run out. My name is Nibatapa, and I have with me Baba Ali, Mubarak, Alhaji Yusuf, Alhaji Ibrahim, and of course, the only lady with us today from Fit Food. She is a dietitian, and her name is Annie. I want to thank you also, Captain, for calling. And everybody who listened to this program but did not call, I also want to thank you. And I also want to give thanks to Heke Day and also the Starsdale Southhost for helping us make this program very possible. Thank you all for listening, and may Allah bless us all. Bye-bye.